Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Chris Zellers, and I am an assistant professor and educator with Family and Community Health Sciences at Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Cape May County. Sorry for the change to all virtual. I know there was a couple people that wanted to come out, and I appreciate that. I like to be out in public as well these days, but unfortunately, it was just a little too risky with the weather. So we collaborated with the library, and they agreed that perhaps it was better to go all virtual. So thank you for your patience on that. This is a presentation that is hosted by Ocean City Library, and I would like to thank the Ocean City Library for once again hosting us. We have several presentations scheduled already out this year for Ocean City Library, and we will be doing them all hybrid, so you can come and watch them in person at the library. We'll be kind of telecasting from there, and then we'll be having them here in person. We'll also be having them virtually, so if you don't want to show up in person, you can watch them virtually from the comfort of your home. So tonight's presentation is making resolutions for better health, and we have a little snow scene there. I think we've all seen enough of that, but there it is again. Before we get into the presentation tonight, I quickly wanted to just review cooperative extension and its structure for any of those that are new or unfamiliar with it. Rutgers Cooperative Extension is a partnership between the County Board of Chosen Commissioners, Rutgers State University, and the National Institute of Food and Agriculture, USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture, or NIFA. And we currently have faculty and or staff in 20 of the 21 New Jersey counties, and we're composed of 3 departments, which include agriculture and natural resources, 4-H and youth development, as well as my department, which is family and community health sciences. And my department, we focus in on topics that are related to nutrition, food safety, chronic disease prevention, and overall wellness. I have some information at the end of the slide on how you can contact us. We have a Facebook page, we have a web page, so we have lots of resources that are free and we're happy to share. So I hope you'll take advantage of those. I also wanted to mention, oh, I'm going to go on this next slide first. I also wanted to share this with you. I thought this was funny. This is from the food section recently posted. I received this post and it's called "The Proof is in the Dough." It's about rural Southern women extension and making money. So this is what my job used to look like way back when folks in family and community health sciences, that was then home economics, would go out and teach classes to the community. So we're the community arm of the university. Rutgers, of course, is a affirmative action equal opportunity employer as well. The objectives for tonight's presentation is we're going to talk about why health goals are important. And notice I'm using the word goals there and not resolutions. We're going to talk about setting yourself up for success. And we're going to talk about making New Year's goals a reality, not just in the short term, but for your lifetime. So we'll go through that and talk a little bit about that. I would like to ask you to, if you have your phones with you, Brooke will also put the link in the chat. I'm asked by the university to record what people do, evaluations from people, and this is that evaluation. So you can take your phone out, open the camera, hold up the QR code, it'll take you right to that survey on your phone, or you're welcome to use the link that Brooke will put in the chat. I'll also have this up at the end so that you have a better chance to evaluate the whole program at the end. And I appreciate that in advance. I also believe that Brooke is going to release a poll for us. So if you are inclined to fill that out, we'd greatly appreciate that as well. Thanks, Brooke. She's awesome. Okay, so making resolutions for better health, that's the conversation. And as you're looking at making resolutions for better health, it's really important to try to focus on how you look. Try to focus, not to focus on how you look on the outside, but all the good things that you could be doing for your health to make you feel better, work better, and play better. So a lot of times we make these short-term resolutions, and they're hard to stick to. But if we can make ones that are substantial and for better health overall, not short-term, like, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds, so I look better in this dress. If you can make those longer term goals, it's going to contribute to your good health. It's going to contribute to better quality of life for you now and as you age. And it's also going to lower your healthcare costs and the copays that you have to put out if you're living a more healthy and fulfilled life. Making resolutions to have better health goals could lead to better sense of well-being, overall well-being. And it could also improve your mental health, and it could improve your mobility and the ability to care for yourself as your age. So taking care of yourself now and not a resolution set up, more of a goal set up, is helpful because it could help maintain your health over the lifespan. And it could also help you to just feel better. We have a fact sheet that I will share after the class that I wrote with a colleague, and it talks about fad diets. And a lot of times I get questions about, hey, what about this fad diet? Or can you present on this fad diet? Fad diets tend to be kind of equal with resolutions where they short term fix things and then in the end, it's not really sustainable for overall health. So I think it's important to recognize that and to recognize how you're doing with setting up your resolutions, which we'll talk a little bit more about that. So making those resolutions so they're for overall better health instead of just the way we look on the outside is a good way to approach making change in your life. And now we're going to talk about why health goals are so important. No matter what your goal is, keeping your physical, mental, and emotional health in the forefront can really be a good motivation as you adventure through the task of starting to begin a new habit. Health goals like exercising, eating healthy, and meditating can help reduce the chances of developing chronic diseases like diabetes, cancers, and heart disease. And these changes could lead to a better night's sleep. It's funny how it all kind of works together. All this stuff kind of goes together. So having that better night's sleep, you can have a better sense of well-being and motivation to continue making healthful changes in your life. If you start out and you exercise, maybe your goal is to exercise more regularly, that's going to help your sleep. That's going to make you want to eat better nutrient dense diet. So it all kind of flows together and one kind of can snowball into the other. But again, end goal is to have health goals that are long term. Goals like healthy relationships are another good one, and being organized can support your physical and mental health too. After all, if you have a healthy mindset and your mind is clear and healthy, it's just as important as our heart health. So, thinking about goals like that is important. One of the reasons that we often don't keep New Year's resolutions is because the goals are too lofty or unrealistic. I can see if I can pull the chat up. I don't know if anybody wants to share in the chat if they made a New Year's resolution or not. It's fine. Maybe somebody will get an idea from you. But if you're going to make a New Year's resolution, it's really good to try to find something that is more goal oriented than resolution oriented, and try to find something that's realistic. Sometimes we have good intentions and we're really ambitious with our goals, especially after the holidays when we've really been eating a lot and overdoing it. But those ambitious goals are good, but then the reality of life can sink in and the holidays are gone. You're back to your normal life. You're busy with work and family and overall life responsibilities. And that makes it much easier for us to break those good intentions and fall back into the routine of daily life. So, the first thing to remember about setting new goals is to take small steps. Taking those small steps will really help us to foster a sense of the ability to stick with it. And one thing I'll say with sticking with it is that a lot of times, we don't stick with it because we start out with that lofty goal and we're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I can do it. We're really motivated. And then we start to do it and reality sets in, of course, like I said, but then we also don't give it the amount of time it takes to make it a habit, a healthy habit. Healthy habits take 6 weeks usually. So if you're going to start adding in an exercise routine to your daily habits, then it's really important to recognize the fact that it might take 6 weeks to get that going. And if you can't be consistent for 6 weeks, you fall off the train there, then that's okay. Jump back on and start over again. But that's important. So taking those small steps, what's that mean? It means making the goals reasonable so that they're obtainable. I get emails a lot of times from people and they're like, oh, I'm really trying hard to lose weight. It's been really difficult. I've been working at it for a couple months now and I've only lost 3 pounds. Well, that's okay because what happens a lot of times is we make a goal like, oh, I need to lose 25 pounds. You didn't gain 25 pounds overnight. So you have to be realistic and set the goals so that they're healthy weight loss so you don't gain it back and also so that you can obtain them. That's important. If you decide you want to take a marathon, run a marathon, That's awesome. A lot of people put that on their list, and a lot of people can do that. But make sure that you have the time and the training and perseverance to do that. So if you don't think you have that at first, then maybe set out to run a 5 or 10K and then move up to a half a marathon and then a marathon. So that training can be there and you can reach that goal so it's obtainable. If you're not currently exercising, a long-term goal might be to run. Say, okay, I want to get back to running. But if you're not doing that and you're not in necessarily condition to do that, start off small. Work your way up to those greater distances, increase them, make goals maybe to break it apart and say, okay, I'm going to walk so many miles and then I'm going to run a mile and I'm going to add to that, add to that. So it makes your goals a lot more obtainable. You also want to make sure that your goal is manageable. Try doing something that fits into your lifestyle first, and that's not going to cause you a lot of strain on your professional or personal life. If something is not manageable, then it's less likely to be obtained. In other words, you're less likely to stick with it. So we want to really take that opportunity to say, to evaluate what's obtainable for you. We'd all like to have these great goals and health aspirations, but sometimes taking them smaller steps and breaking them off into little pieces is what helps to build them and create the foundation that allows us to continue over our lifespan to making it healthy. And I'll give you an example. Before I got into this area, I always had an interest in this. I taught group fitness classes for 25 years, and I thought I'm teaching these classes and minding my exercise health, but I'm not always as healthy with my food. So then I went back to school again and did the whole nutrition thing. But one of the things that I noted is like over from where I started quite a while ago to where I am now has changed and evolved over time. So it wasn't a one quick, I'm done, I'm eating nutritiously today. It was learning and developing and understanding how to modify recipes to make them healthier for me and my family. So again, it was a progression of things over time. But that ability to have over the lifespan make those creative and healthy choices and changes makes it a lot easier for us as we age, as we talked about in a previous slide. You also want to make sure to seek the love and support from friends and family members in carrying out these small steps. If there's somebody in your life that you think would really support you, then choose them to help you in that healthy journey and those healthy goals. But if there's somebody that might be sabotaging you in your efforts, then don't tell them. It's okay to not tell them. Maybe down the line after you've been doing it, fine. But make sure you're surrounding yourself with positive people, positive support people to help you accomplish your goals with love and support. So you feel like you're being supported. So you want to continue with those goals. It's really important to have that support system that's positive. You also want to be kind to yourself. And this is probably one of the most important things. I have it capitalized there on the slide. Find ways to be kind to yourself. If you started exercising a little bit at a time, maybe reward yourself with something like a hot bath to relax your muscles, or time to read a book, or walking in nature that's not a high intensity walk like maybe you have been doing as one of your goals. Just things that are positive, that don't counteract what you've been doing to be healthy, but things that are positive and are a little kindness for yourself. And again, don't do anything to sabotage yourself with your rewards. Do things that are going to complement your goals. If your goal is to add exercise into your life, don't skip exercise as a reward, but rather make plans to maybe meet a friend and exercise together so you have that socialization and companionship. Also, find a way to create rewards that complement your goals rather than undermine them. If you've had a bad day, it's okay. I think that's one of the hardest things, at least for me. If I don't carry out the goal or I miss something a day, it's okay. It's only one day. So I try really hard to work on not beating myself up if I've lost traction or if I need to recalibrate my goals. So try to think about that. Think about the importance of why you're doing what you're doing. Being healthy and having an active life as you age and well into your aging process is a goal, is a reason for my goals personally. So look at why of why you're doing what you're doing, because that's really going to help you to be positive and be able to restart yourself when you might have faltered. Look at what you've achieved and move forward. Don't focus on how far you have left to go, but look at what you're doing to improving yourself overall, because that's really going to help to keep you positive and it's going to help to keep you on track. If you're always going, I really wanted to lose this weight and I still have XYZ amount of pounds to go, it's going to make it seem unsurmountable. So you really want to take time to focus on your accomplishments to date and be proud of yourself and build yourself up. Sometimes my husband and I exercise in the mornings and I'll say to him, "Oh, how was your run today?" And I'll say, "My time wasn't as good." I'm like, "Hey, you got up and you did it." So sometimes that could be the goal, just getting there. Like I said, I used to teach group fitness classes and I used to say to people all the time, especially when it's early in the morning, like pat yourself on the back, you got here. Like that in itself is a goal. So set yourself up for success, but realize what success you have and be proud of that and focus on what you have accomplished. So your goal might be maybe require seeking a professional who teaches maybe beginner yoga or something like that. And if you're just starting out, a goal might be instead of going to the actual class, maybe to look at videos to start your journey. So look again at the scope of what you're going to do and see what professional help you may need to get there along the way. Again, those small steps. If you're not quite sure, say, I'd really like to do yoga, but I don't know a lot about it. There's a lot of free videos that you can find that you can watch and try to get an idea of what's going on there so that you can then maybe go on and go to a yoga studio, go to the gym and try yoga, or keep doing it from home if that's where you like to do it. Also, if you have a goal to quit smoking, seek help from a professional counselor for a smoking cessation course, and taking that small step will help you to guarantee more of a successful health journey and complete your goals that way. So professionals can help, but you don't have to pay to for all your goals to have that happen. And it might be better for you to try them on your own. And then if you're not getting to your goals, maybe reach out and seek professional help. So when we started out the presentation, we talked about setting goals or taking small steps for success. And now I want to talk a little bit about setting obtainable goals. So when I was doing nutrition counseling before I was doing this job, I had clients who often wanted to lose weight. And losing weight is certainly a reachable goal. But it's important to remember that making that goal obtainable you have to allow for better success. So in order to get the goal, you have to allow for it. It takes a long time to gain that weight, as I talked about before. So you have to be realistic about what is obtainable with that goal. Some people can lose 20 pounds in a month. They may not keep the weight off, but if they do, it's going to take some work. But also making a long-term change, it's better to do it in a succinct way so your body gets used to it so that that goal is happening over time. So just keep that in mind that the quick fix isn't always the best way to go. And it may be obtainable in the short term, but it might not be sustainable. So we want to set goals that are sustainable and helping us to reach our long-term health goals. We also know that don't want to bobble our weight up and down. We'd like to try to get to a healthy weight and maintain that healthy weight. It's important to remember the long-term goal is to be healthy and have a better quality of life long-term. So set those goals so they're obtainable, long-term healthy solutions that can be worked into your daily life, not just this month, but all months moving forward. So for a lifetime. All right. So a great tool, I use this frequently. So some of you might have seen it before. A great tool for setting goals is the SMART method. So let's look at the SMART method a minute to see exactly how it can help influence us to make a goal, stay motivated, and keep it going. So the SMART system was created by George Doran, Arthur Miller, and James Cunningham. And this method of obtaining what you want can be used to support most goals, even though the original model was developed to accomplish management objectives. And it's used a lot in other ways because it really is a good example. So as you can see here, the S stands for specific, the M is for measured, A is for attainable, R is for realistic, and T is for timely. We're going to break this down in a minute to help you be a little bit more attainable. Your goals make them a little more attainable, but also to help you stick with them. But I did want to say, like, if you look at these, a lot of what I've been saying here tonight about making the goals realistic, making them obtainable, it's the same thing as the SMART method. So it's a very similar process. So first, let's set a specific goal to stay motivated. So for instance, add one healthy food in a day for the next 6 weeks if eating healthy is your resolution. So if you're saying to yourself, I really want to start eating better, have a healthier diet, maybe it just involves adding a healthy food for the day one a day over the next 6 weeks. Or maybe your snacks, instead of hitting up the vending machine for a salty, sugary snack, high fat snack or something like that, maybe make that goal to be I'm going to pack a snack to take midday and I'm going to eat a piece of fruit every day for the next 6 weeks, right? So that's just a small step that is specific and it's very obtainable. The specific goal doesn't need to be extreme. It can be easier to focus in on one thing rather than choose a big, lofty goal that's harder to meet. And taking too many different goals at once, taking too many things on at once can be a little overwhelming. And that's why they're hard to stick to. And that's why a lot of times people's resolution kind of go down the tube. So try to be successful by finding something specific to focus on, like shown in the S of the SMART goals. All right, the next area is measurable. And if maybe your goal is to drink more water, find a way to measure it, like maybe having a certain size container that you fill up every day and know how much you want to drink. So you kind of have an idea of how much you've drank during the day. And this goal can set you up to be very measured and easy and on track. So, example, I have a water bottle. It's right here. Water bottle. Water bottle I take to work every day. I know how many ounces are in it. I know how many times I fill it up during the day. So I know how much water I drank. So if I wanted to drink more, it'd be very measurable and easy to do. This likewise can be done if you're trying to exercise, increasing the number of days. Measure the number of days, increase that. Maybe the distance you're doing for activity or the time you're doing for activity. These all are ways to measure different goals throughout your day and make them more obtainable for your general health. Excuse me. The resolution needs to also, or goal needs to also be attainable or achievable, which is A, and something that you can aspire to do that's relevant to you. So, for instance, if you want to quit smoking, that's very achievable, but you may need to seek the help of a counselor, like I mentioned before, at one of the quit centers. Here in Cape May County, Cape Assist is one of the quit centers, and Atlantic County, Atlantic Prevention Resources has a quit center. And the great thing is, across New Jersey, we have a lot of quit centers that are supported by New Jersey Department of Health. So they're there and obtainable. For those that are non-smokers and want to set up something that is attainable or achievable, again, start with something small, like adding in, I've been getting my 10,000 steps in, but I'd like to now be physically active for 15 minutes a day. That's obtainable. So it's an attainable goal or achievable goal. So that's something that you can start with and move on and make it happen. All right. So next we want to make sure that the goal or resolution is something that you can aspire to do that's relevant to you. I use this example all the time. Like I said, I taught in gyms for years. And the first day after New Year's back to the gym, had all these people and they're decked out in their gym clothes. They're ready to go. They're getting on the spin bike, taking a spin class, or they're running or whatever. And you see them there and they're there for like a week. And then 2 weeks in, the gym's a ghost town again. There's nobody there. And then everybody comes back in April because it got warm out one day and they're all like, oh no, I have to go to the beach and be in a bathing suit. So I need to get in shape. So a lot of times you see what other people are doing and it's not relevant to you. So make sure that your resolution or goal is individual and it fulfills what you need. And when you get on that treadmill, don't look at the person on either side of you. Look at what you're doing. Set your own goals to be relevant to what you need to do because you don't know what's going on the other sides of you, right? So it's more important you do what you need to do. If you're trying to find ways to relax more, which is a great way to reduce stress and prevent chronic disease by stress reduction. So if you want to relax more and focus more on your overall well-being, then maybe meditation would be a good relevant goal for you. And so create goals that meet your needs for better health by doing those relevant things and whatever you need to do for you. For some people, creating more relaxation and stress free, that might mean exercising. For some people, it might mean a better night's sleep. For some people, it might be meditation. So it's going to be different for everybody, but you need to do what's best for you. And then the last letter of the SMART goals is to set a defined timeline, T, so time for setting the goal and how long you could take to meet that goal. You got to remember too that the other parts of the SMART method when setting this timeline, for example, the R for realistic, keep those all in mind as you're setting your time line and your timing on this. As I said before, running a marathon, if you don't currently exercise, is a great goal to have, but be realistic in the amount of time it could take you to train to achieve that. Don't start out and say, well, I'm not exercising right now, but next month I'm going to run a marathon. That's not very realistic. What you want to do is build time in and research that about how much time it might take you to be able to achieve that goal. And again, it certainly is achievable. You just have to make sure that you have the timing there so you have that timeline so you're successful with that goal. Start small so that you don't hurt yourself too. That's another important part of timing. A lot of times you start out really with lofty goals or lofty resolutions, and then you're too sore to continue training and keep that timeline. So you want to make sure that it's something that fits within that goals. If it's to start exercising more, start out light, increase every so often in a timely manner so that you're increasing and getting more fit as you go along. And setting these SMART goals for the new year will make it easier to track and attain what you're doing. So you have an idea like, okay, this is my timeline. Again, maybe at week 3, there's a foot of snow outside and ice on the ground, so I can't get out to do my walks. So in week 4, when it clears out, I'm going to reset and try again and move that timeline back a little bit if I need to. All part of that sentence I said with being kind to yourself about those goals too. All right. So I talked about the health benefits that we can achieve by small lifestyle changes and how to be successful and positive about those goals and how to use the SMART goal way of setting goals to make sure we're successful. Now comes the hard part. We all know what we want to do, but how do we stick with those goals so that we're in it to win it? It's really easy to have them go by the wayside, right? And if you have some understanding about the hurdles that might be in front of us, again, it's that realistic part of it. If you have an idea when you're making healthy goals, that can really be imperative to your success. Recognize that change is not going to happen overnight. Whatever you're trying to change didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to change overnight. Try to stay focused on what you have been accomplished, to be positive about that. Look at how you're feeling. Rather than getting on the scale or worrying about how your jeans fit or something like that, think about how you're feeling. Think about after you get done exercising, if that was your goal, that maybe you have more extra energy throughout the day, or maybe you're sleeping better at night. Look at things that are promoting your better health so that those goals and resolutions were things that were positive for you. Take the little things, the little wins each day, and be thankful that you've decided to make that healthy change. So again, like I got up and I got to the gym today. Win. That was a win. So whatever you do that's a win, take account for that. Take the satisfaction in that. Pat yourself on the back and say, I did it. It's an important part to keeping that momentum and keeping those goals going. Realize that sticking to something and making it a habit, again, it takes 6 weeks or even longer for some people. And remember that healthy change is not a short-term solution, but over time, it'll really show those results and benefit for years to come. If you really stick with things. So don't think I'm going to start exercising today and then in March I'm going to stop. Make it something that you're going to do forever. When I teach my mindful meditation for stress reduction class, I always tell people that it's a practice. I'm very repetitively, this is a practice because it takes practice and it takes continuity and continuing to do it. So think of your goals also as a practice. This is the way you're setting up yourself to live your life. Repetition and keeping goals is really important. If you miss a day, okay, that's fine. No worries. Go back to it and try again. Also, make a schedule to have time in your day for whatever your goals are, whether that be meditating, quitting smoking, eating nutritious, the list goes on and on. But make time in your day to do that. Repetition in the goals is important, and having that schedule is important. But it's also important to be flexible. If it doesn't work, then be flexible and hop back in there. Some people like to add their goals to their calendar, and I think that's a great idea. That sets time aside to help you achieve the goal, and that's really important if that's what works for you. If your schedule's really jammed up and you're not going to have time to do it, then make time in the schedule because that's going to help you to be able to achieve that goal. Find out also how the schedule might benefit you and use it as a tool. But remember, life happens. So make that flexibility in there if life happens. A good schedule idea for eating healthy, again, with the scheduling, might be to prep salads for a week ahead of time. So use a glass mason jar or another container and chop all the ingredients needed for the week of salads on Sunday and then layer them in there ahead of time. And as long as you don't put dressing on there, they're going to stay pretty fresh. You can seal them up and then put the dressing on when you're going to eat them. Make sure that you put the lettuce on top of the other ingredients so it doesn't get all wilty by the end of the week. But meal prepping is a great way to reach your goals. So sometimes you're going to have the opportunity to meet a goal and it's going to take a little bit of change in your lifestyle. Make that schedule right, but also make time in it to prep for what you're trying to do so you can get there. As you progress with your goals, give yourself a lot of kindness and cut the bad self-talk or criticism out. Be kind to yourself and say, I did this. Be positive with yourself. Think about how you talk to a dear friend or a loved one. Do you say something negative or demeaning to them if they're trying to complete a goal? Probably not. So don't do that to yourself. Talk positive to yourself and reward yourself positively as well. We find a lot of ways to be negative with ourselves, and turning that self-bashing into self-love is really important. A lot of times to do this, people find gratitude journals to be rewarding. That could be another New Year's resolution to help you be more positive and see the bright side of everything. Start out each morning writing down 3 things that are great about you. Like yesterday, my strong legs helped me to walk an extra mile, or my kind soul made my child feel better when they were struggling. We all have positive attributes. We all have something in us that we have to offer in kindness and humanity. So take those attributes, tell yourself how great you are, talk yourself up to yourself. And this could give you the motivation to keep going when you feel like giving up on your good health, because you definitely have an attribute that's worth carrying you forward. And then finally, if all these things are not helping you to stay on track, then find a way to reset yourself. A lot of times, again, there's statistically the New Year's resolutions are not they don't work. And that's because they're lofty and we're not being positive and we don't reset ourselves. We just give up. So if there's something that you really want to reset yourself with, then make the effort to do it so that you stay successful. There's some really good meditation sites that are available for free right now, and I'll send a list out following the presentation on this. But try using meditation to reset yourself as well. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do that. But meditation isn't always easy to practice, but it can really help us clear our minds so that we can focus on things and make our New Year's health goals a reality. If you do meditate, that's awesome. I'm sure I just did a class last week at the university about mindful meditation and stress reduction. And when I asked people in the room that were regular meditators, do you sleep at night? They're like, yep, because meditation helps us to reset ourselves. And it helps us to find calm within ourselves. In a way, it kind of sets us up for that positive behavior. So it sets us up to not be quick to be angry. It sets us up to sleep at night. So there's a lot of positive attributes in it. So if you don't have a New Year's resolution, it's a good place to start and just try it. And if your meditation isn't going well, restart it. Try going for a walk. Do something else if meditation doesn't work for you, but try to find a place to restart yourself in a positive way to treat yourself. And honestly, it's easy to give up on our good intentions, but just try to find a way to find that reset so that if you can reset yourself and keep the goal, it's another way to feel positive about yourself to get it done. I did want to sidebar here. I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I have it. No, I don't. If you go, sorry, skipping around here. We have 11 Quit centers in New Jersey. And if you go to tobaccofreenewjersey.com/quit smoking, then they can help you out. Like I said, there's great resources here in Cape May and Atlantic counties. We have wonderful quit centers here, and they help with smoking cessation, which includes counseling as well as nicotine replacement therapy. And the two scientifically have been found hand in hand to create great success. These agencies also offer vaping resources too. So they're a positive way to try to quit smoking. if that's something that is one of your goals or resolutions. And at this time, I'm going to ask Brooke if she could release the poll, please. All right, thank you. And this is the QR code if you want to please take the other evaluation for me. I'd appreciate it. All right. Somebody asked for the websites again. I'm not sure what that one referred to, but if you want to put in what you're looking for, I'll gladly go back. Oh, it might be. Brooke might have gotten that covered. All right. Oh, the webs. Yeah, hold on a second. Let me see if I can put that in the chat for you. A
I
second.
have it, Chris. I'll put it
I
in.
got it. Thank you. You're the best. All right. All right. Go on. Got so many screens up now. All the tabs in my head. All right. So summarizing, set realistic and sustainable goals. So you want something that's going to be realistic now and down the road so that you can keep it going and have it be success. We want to stay positive. So we want to make sure that we're treating ourselves with kindness like we would treat others and setting up those goals that'll continue to make us feel good about ourselves. We want to remember that change takes time. It's not a quick fix. I know we live in a society that everything's at our fingertips and we want everything done yesterday. And that makes things complicated when you're trying to be successful at goals. So especially health goals. So remember that it does take time to make these things happen. You want to remember to take small steps and build on those small steps. Don't try to break off a big piece all at one time. Set up the small goal. You can set up a big goal, like you might want to say, like again, that marathon idea, but take those little steps to get to that point and set them up as the small goals that you want for yourself and for your health benefits. I do want to also, before we end tonight's session, I do want to mention that Annalise Humilly, who is another person in the FCHS office in Cape May County, is going to be holding a virtual pre-diabetes or diabetes prevention program. So you can't have diabetes already. You have to be pre-diabetes, pre-diabetic. But it's a year-long program. It is met with great success. Annalise has been trained. In fact, she's teaching, I think she's teaching a class tonight on that. But they have cohorts that she'll be doing one in May, I believe. So if you are interested, the QR code is on there for that. You can call our office. You can call the Cape May County RCA office, or there's contact information that you can reach our Somerset office on there. But if you're interested in participating in this, it's a wonderful class. And like I said, they have 100% retention because people are so engaged and interested. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity that we offer at Rutgers Cooperative Extension for the New Jersey residents to be healthy, and hopefully work on their prediabetes so that it doesn't escalate. And then finally, this is my contact information. I answer emails. If you have questions, reach out to myself, reach out to Brooke. She's right down the hall so we can answer questions for you and hopefully get information to you that you need. Before we hop off, I just want to thank again Ocean City Library for hosting us this evening. And thank you all for being here. I hope you had some new ideas that'll help you on your health and wellness journey. Have a great night.